Welcome back to Bump Love. Today we have a special guest, Honorable Dr. Betty Udongo Pacutho. She is a science educator, consultant, research scientist, and trainer in shea butter cosmetics manufacturing and entrepreneurship. She is mother to 3 boys and 1 girl. Welcome to the show, Honorable.
Thank you, viewers.
I would like to start off by asking, what are some of the misconceptions about strong-willed or tamed children?
Biggest misconception is that they are bad children, just bad children. Yeah. So that is what the world has made us to believe. But like you said, it's a misconception. And I just want to focus on that because that's what most people view strong-willed children as bad. And then the ones that are so-called tame are good children. To be honest, I don't like the word tamed because all these children just come just the way they come, you know, the whole package of themselves. So if you say this is tamed and this is not tamed, you see, God created them with all that they come out and exhibit to us. I think the word taming should be left to wild animals, you know, but not humans.
True, absolutely true.
Obviously, no surprises for guessing. This is Dr. Betty, who also happens to be my auntie, who raised us really strong-willed, and she was also a very strong-willed parent to us. But Dr. Betty, some of the things that I've realized is that there was certain big power struggles between us, the very strong-willed children, and with our parents. And I know that you saw that because you witnessed it. You saw it happen when they would ask us to do something and we're not playing according to the rule, and we're constantly getting into, trouble here and there. My question is, can you explain what this power struggle really is about?
This power struggle actually is about parents trying to break the will of children. And so naturally, they are going to react. They are going to fight back. You're telling the child, do this, and the child asks you, why? And you say, because I said. Who wants that? So that power struggle is because of the way we parents look at ourselves and view the children, and we forget that children are not miniature adults. They are children. So for heaven's sake, let's leave them to be children, and then see how we can guide them, how we can put boundaries for them. And I think strong-willed children, above all things, want to be listened to. They want to be listened to. They want to be appreciated, But because of the society we are in, we try to want to break that. And so naturally they'll fight back. Just like a dog. You take a stick to beat it, it will bite you. So we as parents really, really need to realize that sometimes we are the cause of these power struggles.
Mine to you would be strong-willed children are normally seen as confident, while the unstrong-willed, you refuse us to use the word tame, so I'm careful with my words, the unstrong-willed will be seen as shy. How can a parent raise their children without breaking their spirit and just letting them be the best versions of themselves?
First and foremost, I'm a Christian, born again. And so I believe every child is carefully and wonderfully created by God. So that's where I start from. They are wonderfully, carefully created by God. Unfortunately, when God gives them to us, He does not give us instruction manuals how to raise them. They are all unique, okay? Even in that, what you call shyness, weakness, there is strength. There is a strength that doesn't yell out. But if you care to understand them, to listen to them, you find that there's something special in them. So I want to believe every child is unique. So let's stop putting them in a box and mold them. You know, I make soap. So if I want a certain shape, I just pour it in that kind of mold, and then it becomes that. So parents try to put children in a certain box. It is worse with parents who are strong-willed, like me, because then I see so much of those children in myself, and my reaction is actually I'm fighting myself. So for me, these ones whom we think are strong-willed actually are exhibiting some characteristics that are going to help them in life. So we need to guide them, guard them. They are just like fire, you know. When you guide fire, it will cook for you a nice food and you eat it. When you leave it, it will go wild and burn the house. So how do we guide this fire so that it is useful, it will cook for us, and not burn the house?
Good. Sure. So, Doctor, thank you so much for your submission so far. What would you say discipline looks like for strong-willed children versus those who are not rule followers, or rather those who are rule followers? What would discipline look like for each of those categories?
I think the discipline should be the same, okay? Whether strong-willed or not so. Yes, they are all children. They are all unique. So there has to be a ground rule. I'll give you an example of my own children. What we decided to do was to give them the basic godliness, okay? Godliness is it. So whether you are strong-willed or you are not strong-willed, that is the foundation. What does the scripture say about our relationship as parents and children? Okay? So once the children know what the foundation is, okay, the rest of these other things actually just come to complement the foundation. Because as the scripture says in Proverbs 22:6, you know, train a child the way he should go, and when he grows up, he will not depart from it. Now, of my 4 children, the firstborn is very mellow, very quiet like the dad. The secondborn, that is a handful. And by the way, I had to ask for his permission to actually give his example during this program. And that is a parenting tip. You don't just assume that because you are a parent, you can do anything you want. You know, you can talk about their children. I mean, I just imagine my son watching this video and then like, Mom, what was that? I'm like, okay, I'm sorry. You know, it was just an oversight. No, it was not an oversight. You did not care about his feelings, how he would feel about it. So for example, he's called Barnabas. That's the name we gave him. But one day he came back from nursery school and he says, Mom, I don't like that name anymore. I'm like, why? Said, the name Barnabas sounds like Barabbas. It makes me feel dull. So I want to be called Mike. I said, what? Mike? Yeah, Mike makes me just feel like, yeah. I said, okay. Well, do you know why Daddy gave you that name, Barnabas? I don't know. I said, well, you know, we lost the baby before you, and so he named you Barnabas, meaning son of encouragement. So would you just do us a favor and keep that name, but you can add your Mike name onto it. So we allowed him to name himself. Who does that? But it was important for him, since this other name makes him dull. Who wants a dull child? So come on, get that Mike name. If it makes you chamucated, it's okay. So even now, if Mimi, if you go looking for Barnabas, you won't find him. You have to look for Mike. Mike Anyonga. So from that time, we knew that this one here is going to be a handful. And I can assure you, it has been like that until now that he's an adult and he looks back and he says, Mom, I was young. Now I understand things better. But that was him. Then his follower is a girl, Sarah. Sarah just came out with a mouth just. And we are so gifted with that in our family. I call the disease mouthiosis. We have no debts. We have no debts with words, like you say something, I have 5 answers. So I just sort out which one do I give for this time. Somebody's laughing. I'm sure she knows what I'm talking about. It's a gift from God, but it needs to be guided and guarded. Otherwise, it could blow the house. So from the time she was a baby and started to talk, she would speak her mind. I remember one night she was crying and I was trying to soothe her. And then she said, Shepherd. I said, Shepherd, you want shepherd at this time? She said, no, shut up your mouth. I said, oh, I shut out my mouth. Okay. This is a baby telling me to shut up my mouth. And I had to shut up my mouth. Because if that is going to make us calm down and sleep, because I really don't want that crying, I'll shut up my mouth. So I did shut up my mouth. I can assure you, up to now, we argue with her. Recently, we were talking, and then I saw her hair was nicely done, braids. So I say, hey, Sarah, you have a nice braid. Who did it for you? Said, I did it myself. I said, oh, wow, I did a good job teaching you. No, you didn't teach me. I learned by myself. I said, Sarah, you remember when we were in the U.S., when I was in the US, I used to help you do your hair. I would start it, but then you would finish. He said, no, I went on YouTube. I learned by myself. I said, it's okay. Yeah, it's fine. It's okay. So how does discipline look for such children? You have to listen to them. You have to understand them. Okay? You see, they are human beings, like I say, for heaven's sake. They are human beings. So you need to understand them. You need to know what works for them and what don't work. But set boundaries, set boundaries. For example, I told all my children, the only time you get chiboko is when you do 3 things. 1, you lie to me and I discover it, you deserve a chiboko. 2, when you don't listen, you get a chiboko. 3, when you answer me back rudely, you get a chiboko. And so I had a set of my chibokos just at the corner of the house. So whenever your mouth wants to misbehave, you can look at that and you know something is going to happen on your butts. Okay? So let the children know what to expect and be consistent. Don't tell a child, I'm going to beat you, and you don't beat them. They know mommy always says that, So if you don't mean it, please don't say it. They're going to try to pull your legs. So if you don't mean it, don't say it. And all these children have different things that really tick them off, okay? So don't use the same punishment, same punishment for them. No. There are those who, when you tell them time out, they don't like it. There are those whom you say, go to your room and sleep. There are those who say, no TV for you, no PlayStation. No, you need to understand your child. You need to know what is that thing that really, really ticks them off. And then you let them know that, you know what? If you do A, B, C, D, this is what is going to happen. And you be consistent with that. Whether they are strong-headed or not strong-headed, all of them are going to do something that will ike you. And parents, please, Don't punish your children when you are angry. You are stressed up from work. You're stressed up by your husbands or your boyfriends or your whatever. Please learn to count 10 before you react or respond. Because you may do something that you will regret for life. And for me as a principal, when you turn 13, no more chiboko for you. You are now a teenager. Except I had to slap Mike when he was 17. And I had to apologize. Yeah, I did. So learn to apologize to your children.
That's right. Honorable, what are some tips that you can share in raising the different temperaments?
And like I said, a godly foundation is actually the best foundation that you can give them. Okay? And then let the children know that when you discipline them, it's because you love them. It's not because you hate them. And that's why it's important you don't do it when you're angry. I remember my youngest son, he's so mellow, he's so nice, he's such a nice baby. I don't know what he did, and I gave him some chiboko. And he looked at me and he said, "Mommy, you hate me." I said, "No, I don't hate you." I said, "You read the scripture," which says that he who spares the rod hates his son, but he who loves him would diligently discipline him. That was the end of the story. He realized that actually I didn't do that because I hated him, but that because I loved him and I didn't want him to go astray. So the scripture has really helped me. Then the other thing is for the children to know that for every action, there is a reaction, that there are consequences, okay, of their action, that whatever they do, they should expect a consequence. And then also make sure that children have choices, that you don't just rain it on their throats. Find out what the choices could be and what they look like, okay? Give them that choice. Let them choose, you know? So let it not be a fight. Why should we be fighting with our children? And then that's the one that has really worked for me is Ephesians 6:1. Children, obey your parents. Now, I would not even, they know that scripture already. So when they're acting up, I ask, do you want to die? No. Yeah. Do you want to live long and have a prosperous life? That yes. Okay, what does the Bible say? The Bible says, obey your parents in the Lord, for it is good. You know, honor your parents, that it may be well with you and you will live long on earth. So if you don't want it to be well with you, if you want to die and not live on earth, long on earth, okay, bring those mouths to me and disobey me. You are making a choice. And remember, you will go to hell. So that is even worse for you. So to be honest, it worked for me. Maybe you, the young mothers, have a better way, but I tell you, that scripture has worked for me. They don't want to die. They want things to be well for them. So the only key is to obey the parents and to honor them. So I don't have to force them to do that. I just look at you and say, oh, you want to die?
Yes, so Dr. Honorable Doctor, first of all, I want to say that I really like Michael. I like him so much. And it's something I wanted to highlight that, and maybe this is to compare African societies and the developed world, where Africans, we tend so much to use religion to discipline our children, we instill the fear of the Lord in our children, and they find themselves self-correcting. So it's something I also do, and I'm not even religious, but I have learned to lean on the Bible. For whatever mistake, there is a consequence. As you said, for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. So that fear. So I just want to find out, what are your thoughts in a secular world where your foundation is godliness, but in somebody else's world, it might not be. So what do you use in that case where the fear of the Lord is clearly effective, but if maybe that's not where you come from, what leaf can you borrow?
There are principles in life that it doesn't have to be a religious principle. They are principles in life. You see, for example, like what we have said, for every action, there is an equal and opposite. That is Archimedes' principles. Is it no? Newton's law. That is Newton's law. In fact, when they taught me, it was like, you box me, I box you back. That is what the world does, you know? The world is going to teach you principles. You can look around and you see that everything that goes up is going to fall down, okay? So if you're prideful and you want to be on top of everything, know that gravity is going to pull you down. And also every other religion, even the atheists and the like, they do have codes of conduct and principles. And those principles, you will find that they are kind of attributed to some unseen power. So if you are not a Christian, you know, for example, that like what we are saying, if you do something wrong, please expect something to happen to you. Let me give the example of Mike. Mike told me, Mommy, whenever I am out there partying, I hear your voice. And as soon as I hear your voice, I leave immediately. And sure as sure is sure. Either the police will bust the party, or somebody's going to get stabbed, somebody's going to get shot, something is going to happen. So whenever he hears my voice, somehow, like what you tell these children, whether you are religious or not, but you tell them the right thing, they will hear it. So on several occasions, Mike would tell me, Mommy, this is what happened. And not that he's religious. Actually, he questions a lot of things about religion, but he knows what is right and what is wrong. It does not matter whether you are religious or not religious. What is right, what is wrong is wrong. Whether you are religious or not religious, there are soft skills that all children have to learn. Respect of elders, all these are not religious things. These are life things, and there are benefits to them.
Thank you, Doctor. I really want to meet Michael.
Meanwhile, in all this Pumla, this Michael who is asking about religion, his father is a pastor.
Yes, a Reverend Canon.
Is that so?
Yes, a Reverend Canon, actually. So
yes.
To have him question, and his parents are like, it's not a question.
Yes, I allow him to question, because by questioning, he's going to understand. But as parents, we try to, kill that. And I'm sorry to say, even schools do that to our children. These children who are inquisitive are actually very smart children. They want to know. They're strong-headed children are experiential children. They want to experience. They want to experiment, but the world tells them that is not right. And so we kill that creativity in them. We kill the innovation in them. And sometimes they do some of the things they do just to seek attention, because we are not giving them attention. In fact, my children went and reported me to my sister that Mommy does not listen. Okay, I'm sorry. Sarah one time told me, Mommy, carry me. I said, Sarah, I am so tired. She said, but even dogs carry their children. I said, Sarah, where did you see a dog carrying the children? She said, I saw at the national park. I'm like, there are no dogs there. That must have been a baboon. But this is a child who has made an association. She saw some animal carrying a baby. She cannot understand how a mom cannot carry her own baby if dogs can.
It can be quite something.
I wish we had enough time. I have so many examples of my children, and I'm like, okay, but I do see myself in them, because I'm also a very strong-headed former child. But what worked for me is I knew my dad loved me, my mom loved me. I'm telling you, love is so, so central. If this child knows you love them, that you're not beating them because you hate them and the like. It is so important. It is so important for the children to feel loved. Not just saying, love you, bye, love you. They have to experience that love.
Thank you so much, Honorable. It's been amazing having you on the show. And once again, foundation, foundation, foundation to all the mothers out there raising strong-willed, gentle children. I hope we are doing something right. With love from all of us at Bump Love.